We now return to the Park Shore Coin and Collectibles Hour on Fox Sports Radio. And now, your host, Scott Heiligman. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is the Park Shore Coin and Jewelry Hour right here on Fox Sports Radio and live all over the world on YouTube and also on Spotify or however you hear your podcasts. I'd like to welcome everybody today. This is a kind of a special show because we're previewing our first auction, and we're going to talk about that here again in just a few minutes. My name's Ian Heaton. I'm here co-hosting today, filling in for Mark, who's out ill. And I'd like to introduce now Scott Heiligman, the owner of Park Shore Coin and Jewelry and the host of our show today. Scott, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Southwest Florida. Ian, good to have you.
That first hour went very fast, very fast.
Good to have you in the box, sir.
Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
I don't mind, dude. I'm here anyway, and this is pretty cool. I like this.
For sure.
I wouldn't take Mark's job, but this is pretty nice. But anyway, let's see, your telephone number. The easiest way to text and call and send pictures is 239-961-0816.
That's right.
That's 239-961-0816. And you can find out all about Scott and what he does on his website at parkshorecoin.com. That's www.parkshorecoin.com. And you can visit him also at his new location, which is really cool. It's in the Napoli Center, right there near Immokalee and 75. It's just 2 short blocks off of Immokalee and 75. Stay tuned. We'll give you the address and everything towards the end. But you can also find that right on his website. Just go to the contact tab, and there's actually a map right there and a picture of the place, so you can find it real easy. And you can walk right in, and he can look at what you have and test what you have, and he'll cash you out right there if you guys agree on a price. What a great deal.
It's a great deal, and we pay top dollar. You know, I try to, bid as much as I possibly can. And, we alluded to that in the first hour. Not having the overhead and several staff, it allows me to pay a little bit more as well. Because if you do have a staff, and a lot of times if you have a staff who they're buying things without their money, a lot of times they won't pay correctly.
Exactly.
Does that make sense? So the fact that it's like my money and it's like I'm the one who's accountable, I think that's always the best way. Now, it's not always going to work that way when you transact in this world, but if you can transact in that way, anytime you deal directly with the individual who's doing it, you're going to make, the most often. There's no middleman, if you will say, right? Right. So it's almost like you're just dealing with me. But it's Park Shore Coin and Jewelry, and we're an auction house as well. So anytime if you guys have items and you just don't know what they're worth and you think that auction might be the best way to do it, bring it on in to Park Shore Coin, right here in North Naples. We're open 6 days a week. Free evaluations. I'll let you know what you have. A lot of times I'll just make an offer to buy your items right there on the spot. We specialize on coins, both silver and gold, numismatic, so Morgan dollars, silver dollars, things of that nature. And then bullion, like just, raw 1 ounce coins, both silver and gold. Occasionally we do get palladium, baseball cards, vintage primarily. These are things that we're really focusing in on to try to sell in our auction house down here in Southwest Florida. We're getting a very good result, just good feedback in general from our customer base. And there's just a lot of good stuff down here. And people are just now have a trading post where they can, sell it for top dollar and at least know what they have. A lot of times people just want to have an inventory of what they have for when they pass it down to their children or grandchildren. We can do that too. You can bring in your 3 pieces of jewelry, your 2 coins that, maybe your grandma passed them down to you. And you just, you have a general idea that they're valuable, but you really have no idea. Bring it on in. There's no charge. I might try to buy it from you, but that's just in my nature. But no pressure to sell. And when you're ready, I just hope, you bring it back to Park Shore Coin, and I'm sure you will. And that's, kind of why I offer that free evaluation. It's not to waste people's time. It's just to, meet the individual. And a lot of times that's just what the customer wants. They just want to know what they have, and then they can go home and process it if they're ready to sell it, if they're too emotionally attached, or if they think the item's going to go up more in value, or if it's going to go down. A lot of times they say, hey, Scott, I see gold or silver's at $19 an ounce. What do you think is going to happen? Should I sell it? And I say, well, prior to COVID, it was $13 an ounce. During COVID, it went up to $29 an ounce, and now it's $19. So I don't know. It could go down to 12 or 13, and here you are sitting on $3,000 worth of it, and now becomes worth 2,000. So just kind of know what it is now, see what's going on politically, and just realize it's nice to have precious metals. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, we'll be able to take care of you. So,
And it's great because you can go right to the website,
yeah.
parkshorecoin.com. And if you look on there, there's actually a tab where you can go on there and see what the spot prices are right now for any of these metals. And that's a great way to kind of get a start. You can send him a picture. You can go look for yourself what the current spot value is.
For sure.
And you can do a lot of your research right from home on your smartphone. And Scott can do his research. You guys can get together and decide if it's worth the trip. I think that's just a great idea.
That's right. And a lot of times when people, they call and they say, well, I have this jewelry to sell and it's 14 karat. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, how do you buy it? And I'm like, well, it's based on spot price. And they're like, well, I don't want to sell based on spot price. It's like, well, that's how it's traded.
That's how it works.
No,
yeah.
what you're maybe misunderstanding is there's a premium over what the spot price is, but the spot price is always going to be the base price. That's how it's bought and traded. And so you have to realize, hey, if you have a 14 karat necklace, that's 58% pure. And then you do the math from there. So a lot of times people just throw things on the scale and different cuts and different lengths and different ropes. All these different things have different prices. So it's really hard for me to really determine over the phone. But text message, I can see the link. I can see if there's kinks. I can see if it can be resold. I can see if it's going to have to be melted. And all these things are going to determine whether or not, I'm going to buy it at Parkshore Coin, or if we think we should co-sign it and put it up for auction. Either way, I'll buy it. But a lot of times, if it's like a rope chain and it has kinks on it, we can't resell it, then there's really not a point of putting it in the auction. It's just going to buy for the silver value or the gold value, and we'll just kind of go on from there. But yes, it's always based on spot price. And then the premiums are going to be, just a few percentages on top of that. So if gold is $1,800 an ounce and you have an ounce of gold, you're going to realize you're going to get right around $1,800 for that coin. It's not worth tremendously much more than that, and it's never going to be worth tremendously much less than that. Same thing goes with silver. If silver is $20 an ounce, you're never going to get $15 or $16 or $17 for an ounce. You're going to get $19, $19.50, or $20, depending on what the product is. Now, American Silver Eagles right now I'm buying for $25 each. I'm paying $5 over spot. Some days I'm paying $7 over spot. So, on Friday I was paying $7 over spot. So it really just depends on, market conditions. Now, the spot price did not change one lick. It was around $19 all day, but it went from 25 to 27. So that's why having someone like Parkshore Coin on top of the market, we pay attention to it 24/7, 365. We are now an auction house, so we have just a plethora of knowledge or of past auctions and all these comps and all this research that now we have access to that really you couldn't have not as an auctioneer. There are places you can get some things, but not the catalogs that we now have access to. So we're really going to be able to dig in, show the customers what they have, and a lot of these rare items, they only show up in auction houses. So now having a place where we can research what you have, it'll really help you get the most money for it, because I'll now know what the comp goes for and how much it's sold for. And so the more knowledge I have, the more knowledge you have, the more money we're going to get out of the item. That's kind of how it works. We're going to be able to market it properly. We're going to be able to, find the specific buyers. A lot of times I hop into Facebook groups. I spend very little time on Facebook, but I know they're very good for Facebook groups. And if you get into a very small niche, a specific collector or specific mint maker, specific Navajo jewelry, these people in there, they're going to be some of the biggest, best buyers in the world. And they're also going to give you a lot of information on the pieces you have. So having all these people on your side to help you get top dollar for your item, or, research your item and get all these different, points to resell them, it's all like a sales pitch almost. Hey, let's find out all these different aspects of this item. More research we have on it, the higher bid price we're going to get for it. And so that's what's really nice about the auctions and being able to offer that to Southwest Florida. Because a lot of them, hey, they say, Scott, I don't know if I want to sell. They see my advertising, they see this, that, but they don't know if they want to sell. They don't know what the process is even like. So A lot of times they can just say, hey, well, let's put it into an auction. I can then watch it, see what I have, and then it's a good way to get your feet wet. Some people just want to sell the whole thing and be done with it. They've done it before. They've been wheeling and dealing their whole life, right? There's a lot of people, they're just accustomed to it. But a 78-year-old widowed female who's, just never, just never been something she's done. She's never been in charge of buying and liquidating. And a lot of times the husband did that, right? So now they're stuck with all these items. It's nice to have somebody like myself and Park Shore Coin bring it in, free evaluations, build a relationship, see what you have. And I just want you guys to get comfortable. Bring it in, get comfortable. You'll love the new location. It's very bright, very welcoming, very clean. And at the very least, you'll get a good, idea of what you have. You get to meet me, and we're literally centrally located from our entire listenership. I mean, we're right there at the intersection of I-75 and Immokalee, right on the northwest corner, the Napoli Center. So we're very quick in and off the highway. Even if you live all the way down near the beach in Naples or Bonita, 15, 20-minute drive, centrally located. That's why Park Shore Coin, I was originally in Park Shore, down there off 41 near Colson Mall. But my customers, they were coming from all over the place. And so I had to be closer to I-75.
There's definitely an advantage to being out there on the interstate.
Yeah.
There definitely is. So give Scott a call at 239-961-0816. That's 239-961-0816. And if you don't have anything to write this stuff down, we're going to give it one more time at the end. We've just got about 12 minutes left, and I want to get into a couple other things. So you can send Scott an email at scott@parkshorecoin.com. That's scott@parkshorecoin.com. Or text, send pictures, and you can call him on the phone at 239-961-0816 or visit him at his new office in the Napoli Center right near Immokalee and I-75. I want to go real quick before we run out of time today. I want to ask you about this Mickey Mantle baseball card, which apparently has set some pretty big records at $12.6 million.
Unreal. That was the hammer price, 12.6, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people don't realize that was a 9.5 graded card. Now, a couple takeaways. If people realize there's always been one big player in the card authentication game. It's PSA. It's a red label. You will notice on this record-setting slab, it's SGC. SGC is located in Boca Raton. I send a lot of my vintage cards over them. They're great for authenticating. They're very fair with the grades. And when they say something's a 9.5 and then it sets an all-time record, that's just got to be great for their business. I mean, they have always been the little brother to PSA. PSA has dominated up until COVID, where they botched everything because they're in California. And even to this day, they still haven't gotten their act together. It's really nice to see SGC step in and not have a 2-year turnaround or a 1-year turnaround or charge $300 to, get a very good card graded. $25, $30, 1 or 2 week turnaround, SGC. Very cool to see their card sold for $12.8 million. And one thing I take away from that is it's the high-end card market. So things that I've seen since that card went to auction 2 weeks ago, last week was very busy. I mean, I saw probably 2 or 3 Mantle cards come in. One couple came in, husband and wife. They legitimately thought they were newfound millionaires. Now, they had the 1955 Mantle. It was in probably a 1 or 2 condition, which we talk about it all the time on the show. Condition is everything. So when you see this card sold for $12 million, it's a 9.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, one side note, PSA does not do half scores. They do a 9 or a 10 or an 8. SGC, it's them who does an 8.5, 9, 9.5. So who knows? Now, it might be one thing that the buyer of that SGC card said, wow, maybe if I break this card out of SGC and send it into PSA, it comes back at Gem Mint 10. This thing now is worth $20 million. And if it comes back at 9, it's really not going to make any difference, because it's still going to be PSA. Now, I would be petrified of breaking it out of that slab and ruining the card when I chop it out. But that is something you can do, and it's very cool to see. The market is hot. Now, it is the high-end market. We have talked about this There has been an upward trend in wealth since COVID, and that's just the reality of it. And this is a reflection of that. This is the high-end market where people who have $12 million to spend on a card, they're not people like you or I. These are very, very high-end collectors, probably sultans of Brunei, so high-end things like that.
Oh yeah.
They're not collectors. So when people say, well, how does that affect the market? Well, obviously it's very good to see a Mantle rookie set an all-time record. That means all of his cards are going to go up a little bit. But it's not like his card, like I said, the one that came in the 1955, I bought it for $300. It's probably worth 250, 300. I mean, it's a 1 out of 10. It's totally creased. But that same card would go for 600 grand if it was in an 8 or a 9. So that's what people don't realize. They see the card, oh my God, I have the card that just sold for 12.8 million. Well, it has to be worth 1% of that, right? I mean,
Not
1% is
necessarily,
12,000, right?
Yeah.
1,200, actually it's 120,000. Not even close. Not even 0.1%. 0.1% is 12,000 on a $12 million card. You're not even there yet on a 1 or a 2. We're talking hundreds of dollars. So 0.001% of that. So it's very misleading. And it just goes to show what it's important to have an expert give an opinion. Don't get too high. Don't think you automatically have something. But if you do have something and it's in very good shape, keep it in very good shape. And realize, take good care of your stuff, because that is why that card sold for $12.8 million.
Because with nearly anything, unless it's something you're going to melt,
Yeah,
with pretty much anything that we deal with, it's always what it is plus condition.
for sure.
And that condition is just as important as what it is that we're looking at the condition on.
That's right. And we'll have to get into it in another episode. But if you start watching these old vintage toys from the 70s in original
Yeah.
boxes, I mean, I started to research for the show, and these things that I'm seeing, just like the original, it wasn't ColecoVision, but there was like another one before even Atari. And there's two different ones. And one was literally, if it's still in the box, 50 grand.
Wow.
Yeah, and these are machines you can't even use, but it's like, I think it was IBM who made it out, and then some guy was talking about it, and you really have to know the stuff, because he's like, well, they did make it, but they made two different makes, and the one that's the first generation, it's identical to the second generation, but the second generation is not as collectible, and so, but yeah, these ones were through the roof in prices, but it came down to, because it's never been out of the box before, that same machine just hooked up without the box, $2,000, $1,000, maybe 800-900. Having it in the pristine box, unopened, as if you're getting it on Christmas morning in 1975, makes that thing that much more valuable. Why? I don't know, but that's how collectible goes. It doesn't matter what I think. Maybe I think it's crazy. It is what it is. And that's how coins go too. If you get one that's in mint state, and that they go from 1 to 70, we talk about it all the time in the show, you're never going to find a Morgan dollar much higher than a 67 or a 68. They're just going to be through the roof price-wise, and just when they're circulated, just getting a ding, when they go from the mint where they're produced, put into a bag, they clink, they clang, you're already down to a 68, 67. You put it through circulation for a year, you're much lower than that. And so that's why it's very hard. You'll never see a Gem Mint 10. I mean, that's just, this one was a 9.5 that set the all-time record, and that's another takeaway. It wasn't even a 10. It's like you think, wow, a record for cards. Well, no, not necessarily. That was as close as it can get. But they're just, 10s just don't make it. By the time, a lot of times you take it out of the pack with your greasy fingers, a true grader, they will be able to see that several years later, the oil from your finger under magnification. So somebody, when they took it out, or even when they packaged it, made it where it just never could be a 10. And that's why they make them so valuable. And that's what makes it so cool, too. That's what makes collecting so cool. You can find finds. You can look at things on our auction. You can just find things you normally wouldn't be able to find at a Macy's or at a store or at a garage sale. And, that's kind of, what Park Shore Coin brings to the table. And it's pretty cool.
Well, speaking of, I'd like to do a little preview. We've got
Sure.
this auction going on
That's
today,
right,
all
yeah.
day today,
Yep.
Ending later this afternoon. It's going to be through your website on Proxy Bid.
That's right.
So if you want to get in on this, the best way to do it is go to parkshorecoin.com. That's parkshorecoin.com. Obviously, there's no words or dashes or spaces in there. And when you go to the website, you want to click on the auctions tab, and it will bring you directly to the page that will have today's auctions on it. and you want to check that out, this is our first day doing this on this auction site,
That's
and
right.
we're really excited about this. This is a whole new realm of possibility
For
out there
sure.
for us, and we're
Yep.
really looking forward to a big day today. So hopefully you can get out there and get this going today. Check it out, and we'd love to get.
For
Why
sure.
don't you give us a preview of some of what's
Yeah.
going to be shown today
Okay,
on
for a little bit of anything. So if you're just getting into collecting, we have 90% silver. We have the Franklin half-dollar lot, 13 Franklin half-dollars. That'll probably sell for between $100 and $150. It's a great way to get your feet wet to start collecting. Now we have things even lower. If you just want to buy one silver dollar, we have one Morgan dollar. Now, here's the thing. With our auctions, we're going to try to make every lot $100 or more. Because as I'm learning, they're very, very time consuming to take the pictures, to write the descriptions, to ship them out, to process the transaction, the credit card, the payment, this, that. It's just not worth it to do it for a $25 item. Now, I wish I could. I really do try to maybe I will put one or two items out there because I don't want to forget about the little guy. I do realize how important it is to be able to start collecting, and especially a silver stacker. They want to be able to start at 10, 20, $30. And all of our auctions, Ian, free shipping. So everything we always do on proxy bid, shipping will be included in your bid price at the end. We'll never charge for shipping. Always free, always fast, and always done professionally and securely. And we've been doing it for a long time. So we can do that. There's a Morgan silver dollar, it's still at $30. You can get on there and bid. We have got an 1897 Morgan silver dollar uncirculated, still at $35. I mean, that thing, I could bring it to a coin show tomorrow and get $60 for it easily from a coin dealer, or even if I set up a booth at a coin shop. Same with these two Morgan silver dollars and one peace dollar. A lot of lots like this. So if you're a new collector and you want to spend $80 or $100 and you want to just get your feet wet and learning how to bid and kind of see what's what, it's a great way to get the premiums down when you buy 3 coins at one time. Because a lot of times if you buy 1 coin, I guess if shipping's free with Park Shore Coin, it doesn't make much of a difference to you guys. But the more you buy, the better price you typically get. Now, it's not always going to be as significant because precious metals, there's not much of a wholesale price. That's one thing you'll learn. There are buyers out there who will buy unlimited amounts of Morgan dollars for a certain price. And they're pretty close to what they'll go for on a retail. So there's a very small window in there. So we got many, many lots of 4 silver dollars, 3 silver dollars. So we're going to keep the budget under a couple $100 there for you, and get your collecting started with that. And then if you want to get into start 1-ounce gold coins, I mean, very difficult to find right now. Gold 1-ounce eagles. We started them off at spot price, which is $1,700. And that's where they sit right now. So you can bid on those. And now there's a 15% buyer premium on the back end of all, and that is part of the transaction, the fees and all that kind of stuff. So if you bid $100, there will be $115 when you check out. So that's what you will see on the buyer premium on the website. And that's what that is. So there's a bidder price, and then on the back end, and that pays for all the fees and the shipping and all that. That's why you'll see on some of the sites on Proxy, there's a shipping fee and then a premium. But I just figured with the premium, that'll include everything. And then there's no tax either on bullion when you buy United States bullion. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay. All these things are untaxable, and these are assets that you can put in like a savings account. And yeah, we have a lot of jewelry as well. We have engagement rings, a little bit of everything. So, it's fine jewelry, it's coins. In a month, we'll probably do one more collectibles, things of that nature. But this is all the jewelry we've had sitting around for a month, waiting to come out on display and for sale. And yeah, you just get on there and you bid, and you can do in-store pickup. And if you want to come today, we're open till 3:30. You can take a look at the items in person and be like, oh, maybe that ring does fit, or I do like that. And we can do it that way too.
Well, there you go. So just get on there today and check out the auctions. Go to our website. That is parkshorecoin.com. That's parkshorecoin.com. It's the best way to find out more about Park Shore Jewelry, Park Shore Coin Jewelry, and Auctioneer.
Yep.
We do all kinds of great stuff there. And you can call at 239-961-0816 if you want to find out more or inquire about something you may want Scott to buy, something that you have. You can also email him at scott@parkshorecoin.com. That's scott@parkshorecoin.com, or visit him during business hours at his office in Napoli Center on Travella Circle in Naples, and all that information is right there on his website, and you can check that out. And I encourage you to go to his website now at parkshorecoin.com and click the auctions tab and check out this great auction site that Scott's using now to auction off his better items here. Some of the great stuff that he's taken in.
That's right.
Both on consignment and things that he's cashed people out for.
Yep.
And so find out for yourself what kind of things we have out there at Park Shore Coin.
Little something for everyone. There really is. I mean, there's stuff for the wife, for the kids, for the grandkids, a little bit of everything, coin collecting, jewelry, a little bit of everything. So we're going to have a good variety to keep people interested. And that's a great way to just keep the listeners involved as well. A lot of times they'll be like, oh, I can't wait to see my item up on the auction block to see. It brings another element to the business. Because like I said, sometimes some people just want to sell it and be done with it. They don't want to deal with all this other stuff. Some people, that's exactly what they want. They want to see what it's worth, put it in the auction, and follow it. And a little bit more personal interaction. I know, like you're alluding to before, we're becoming a world more disconnected. Right. So with a little less and less accountability. If I want to get a hold of someone on one of the Google, you're not going to get a person.
No.
eBay, you're not going to get a person. No. This way, you're literally going to get Scott on the phone at Park Shore Coin. There is a level of accountability which gives the bidders and people from my perspective just another level of accountability, get to know us, and grow from there. It's pretty cool.
It is. It's always best when you can deal with the person who's actually making the decisions. Even when you buy a car, you got to deal with a guy that's got to go back 7 times and talk to the sales manager. I like this because you walk into Park Shore Coin, I talk directly to the man that owns the business. Mm-hmm. He tests my item. He offers me what it's worth or offers me options. And I think that's a really great thing. Yeah. So check out our auction today. It's going on all day today.
All day. It starts, the first auction ends at 3. So, you got about 7 hours. So that's some time to get your golf and fishing in. Get online and start bidding. It's very simple to start on proxy bid. You can be registered within a minute or two. There's now different tiers that I can set as an auctioneer on who I want to, what types of checks I want to put them through before they bid. I set mine at tier 1 just to get people in there and not have to type 5 buttons and fill out driver's license and this. They want to start bidding, maybe eventually, but I want people to get introduced, at least see how the bidding process works. And if I get into it deeper and deeper and I have to do that, we'll do that. But right now, I want to make it simple for everyone. Just get on there, get an account with Proxy Bid. We're going to be on there forever. And so we're going to build something very special on there. So you might as well too. And then you'll also be, if you're a buyer on there, you'll also get auction houses throughout the country. You might be able to find a one-on-one item that you never would have been able to find anywhere else, because things do go to auction that you will never find anywhere else. And that's where they end up, in auction houses.
And being at an auction, there's always that opportunity to get a great deal.
Oh, that's the other thing. The other thing. Yeah, you never know. That's why you can tell I'm very careful with where I started my bidding, because you just never know. I used to be of the type where I like starting if at $1, even if it's an $800 item, knowing that that person who bid $28, they're not going to get it. But if it makes their day and gets them involved, and it gets people involved in the auction, so be it, And if they do get it for $28 and something crazy happens, whatever.
All right, so we've got to leave you for today. Thanks for listening to the Park Shore Coin and Collectibles Hour right here on Fox Sports Radio. And we're going to be back next week at 7 a.m. right here for another show. You can catch our show anytime on our YouTube channel or on anywhere that podcasts are listed out there. We are on there, including Spotify and Google podcasts and a number of other places. Give Scott a call today if you have something or you just like to talk. 239-961-0816. That's 239-961-0816. Or you can also email Scott at scott@parkshorecoin.com. That's scott@parkshorecoin.com. Or stop by the brand new location at Napoli Center on Trevilla Circle in Naples, right near the corner of Immokalee Road and I-75. So join this auction today. It's going to be a fun day.
It'll be a fun watch.
And, and then join us next week right here for the Park Shore Coin and Collectibles Hour.
Thanks for joining us.
My name's Ian, and on behalf of Ian and Scott, you guys have a great day out there, and we'll see you next week.
See you next time. Thanks for joining us, Ian.